Well, today is Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know if anybody knew that.
No sports, no politics,
Football is a religion, I know, for some people. I heard that the three most popular sports in South Carolina are professional football, college football, and high school football. I saw one of the players getting ready the other day. He was so huge that instead of a number, he had a license plate. Honey, I know I told you that I loved you more than football, but that's all I'm going to say about that. You know, those linemen are so big that it takes only 4 of them to make a dozen. Husband, honey, do you have anything that you want to say before football season starts? And you know, I played basketball in high school. I didn't get to play football, but I have an intestinal problem. I had no guts. It's good to laugh. Come on now, right? Don't be so serious. How many know it's going to be okay? Yeah. Why not? Why not believe that? We've been through the 5 principles. Number 1, there's one God, one power, one presence, that everything comes from, one creator. And number 2, we discussed how that we are all made of that substance of God, that we all come from God. We are all spiritual beings made in the likeness and image of God. Number 3, we discovered that we are created beings and that we create our experiences through what we believe, what we think, and how we feel. Right? It's very important. Number 4, last week we talked about abiding within that inner presence and learning how to speak of positive affirmations and prayers and how to go deep within and make our connection with the divine. It's a wonderful thing. And so today is Love in Action Sunday. You're supposed to, yeah. That's the response I was looking for. Woohoo! Yay! Whoopee! So, because we're talking about the 5th principle. And what is the 5th principle? Knowledge of these spiritual principles is not enough. We must live them. We must live them. You see, I didn't know if you noticed this, but we live in a physical world. Right? And so it's important to put flesh and blood to your beliefs. To embody what you believe. To act upon what is true for you. Right? The principle number 5 is the law of action. The law of action. It's acting on your belief system. In James 2:17 it says that, so faith by itself without action is dead. It's like somebody says, hey, honey, I love you. You know? But they never do anything, or, you know, never act like they love you. I mean, know that you got to put some legs and some feet and some hands to your beliefs, right? Because until we do that, we're just kidding ourselves. We're just playing a game with ourselves. A lot of people are into games. They're into mind games, psychological games, you know. Ooh, ah, ooh. They talk and they talk and they talk. You turn on the TV and these talking heads, you know, and each one of them are spewing forth their particular belief system. How many know there's many belief systems to choose from? Right? Many. And when I look at belief systems, I like to look at all the different sides. Don't you? I don't want to get caught up on just one side, one area of a belief and say, well, this is what is really... No. That's just one little slice, one little picture. We've got to see the big picture. Say it with me, the big picture. Right? And to see the big picture, you have to have your eyes open. You have to be noticing, paying attention. Right? Action and service is the way that we demonstrate our beliefs in this world. If you believe that there's one power, you believe that we are all one, you believe in the divinity that is within each one of us, then you must find a way to serve the whole. One of the best prayers, Wayne Dyer said that he learned to pray every day was, how may I serve? When you move into that, you will move out of the mind of always thinking about your problems, always thinking about you don't have this, and you wish you had that, and you want more of this and that, and if somebody would just, help me out here. Well, how many know it originates with you and I? If we can find our place. And see, most people are already doing their purpose. They just don't realize it. Because what we've got to understand is what we do is not always the big stuff, right? Most people are thinking, there's some big thing I'm going to do in my life, James. I just don't know what it is. Well, it's all the little stuff that becomes big. It's those little things. It's the little smile that you do. It's the little hug that you give. It's the little extra that you give to someone that needs help. It's the way you reach out. It's the way you touch people. It's the way you speak. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about who we are and living every moment. If you're in every moment, walking in these principles, living them, expressing them, then you cannot help but live a happy life. Tell the person, say, I'm happy. Right? Tell somebody, say, I'm happy. You say, but James, I'm not really, I'm just lying. All right. Okay, I understand that. I remember years ago, back in the 90s, I was going through a 90s depression. You notice that depression changes over the years? I mean, it's really the same thing. It's just redefined, So I was kind of going through depression, I said, what's going on? Hey, what's it all about, Alfie? What is it all about? Why am I here? And I discovered something. That if I get up and I start moving around, things begin to change. You see, I know what I believe, right? Do you know what you believe? When you know what you believe, you get up and you start acting on those beliefs, and they begin to solidify, and you begin to embody them, and they begin to become true for you. But you have to act them out. You have to live it out. You have to walk it out in shoe leather, right? Action and service is the way to demonstrate our beliefs. Through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth that we know. I went one time. You ever have this happen? You go to a great seminar, workshop, and you're all fired up. It's like you buy the book. You buy the CDs. You put them in your car. Lay them right there in the back seat. You know what I mean? You put them in your car and you think, I got the book now. I know the secrets. I know what it's all about. And you feel so good. And you go to bed that night and you go to sleep, and the next morning you wake up and you forget everything. And then here you go, doing the same old thing that you always did. Because why? Because you did not act upon the truth that you discovered. That's how we make it real for ourselves. Make sense? Is this helping anybody so far? Thank you. Doing follows being. Now, some folks are just trying to do. Well, you know the rest of that. It's be, do. Right? I think Frank Sinatra was right. Doobie, 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 doobie. We're all expressions of love. We're all expressions of God. I mean, think about that for a moment. You are an expression of God, just as you are. Just as you are. Nothing to prove. You don't have to prove it to anybody. When you know the secret, I am a divine child. That's who I am. I can't be anything else but that. So whatever I do, that's what divine children do. That's how they act. And when you become more conscious, then you take on more and more of the nature and the characteristics of the Father, Mother God that begat you. Right? How many feel like you've been begat? Yeah. And so, don't procrastinate. If an idea comes, get up and act now. Say it with me. Get up and act now. Right? I had a lady come to me one time. She said, James, she said, I've been really struggling. She said, I feel like I'm supposed to move to Colorado. I feel like I'm supposed to go there. I don't know why I'm supposed to go. I just feel like I'm supposed to go to Colorado. And we talked, and I said, well, why don't you just go? She said, okay, I will. And she left, and I hadn't seen her since. But she acted, finally, upon what she was being gotten. I don't know what she's doing now. I have no idea. But she acted. Do what others won't, so tomorrow you can do what others can't. See, sometimes you have to do things that are outside of your comfort level. Comfort zone. I've had to push myself over the years. First time I stood up in front of people, it was a mess. It was a beautiful mess. Now that I look back on it, at the time, so I'm never doing that again. But you keep getting up and you keep doing what you know you're supposed to do. You keep speaking, you keep talking it, you keep thinking it, you keep moving forward in what it is that you desire to do. And there comes a moment, there comes an hour that you begin to step into it, and it all becomes what you've always wanted it to be. But you never get it done. See, a lot of folks, they want to get it all done. You know, they want to win the lottery so they can sit on the beach with their drink, suntan lotion, lying back in the lounge. It was easy, really. Those poor slobs out there. You know, what can I say? I did it. I've arrived. And you lay around on the beach for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's like, there's got to be something more to this. You see what I'm saying? Right? How many understand that you're in it right now? You're in it right now. Your life is now. It's not tomorrow. It's not when you win the lottery. It's not when you become famous and get your own reality show. Right? Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. Abraham Lincoln said that. At least that's what the internet said. Sean says, doing nothing gets you nothing. Right? Lao Tzu said, an ant on the move does more than a dozing ox. You ever watch ants? Yeah. You know, every once in a while I step outside, there's an anthill, and I don't see it, and I knock it over, and I go, whoops, sorry. I mean, that's their town, that's their village, and I just knocked it over. You know, but these little ants, they don't look up and say, ooh, there he is again. I hope he doesn't step on us again with those number 12 shoes. No. They go back out and they build it again. They do it again. They do what they need to do, right? Because they're alive. That's what they do. That's what we do, right? We're alive now. This is our time. Yeah. Let's say that together. This is our time. Right here, right now. That's right. That's right. It's important to flow with your inspiration. Tony Robbins says, remember, a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken new action. If there's no action, you haven't truly decided. Something to think about. Have you decided? Well, James, I'm not sure. I'm going to sit here and think about it for a few years. Should I? Shouldn't I? Everybody I see, I ask them, should I or shouldn't I? Then I build up all the reasons why I should. And then all the reasons why I shouldn't. Then I go, what should I do? You know what I've discovered? You just begin to do something. Move in the direction of your what? Your dreams. Take a step. A lot of people think they have to get it all done by Tuesday. No. You make the first step now in the process. Remember when we first came to this church, there were 12 people. You know? 12 people. We all just kind of looked around at each other like, what are we going to do? And you just take a step. You do what you need to do in the moment to get to the next step and to the next step. Right? You keep climbing the ladder of consciousness, the ladder of your purpose. And every rung is different. Every level is different. There's different things that you will do in each level, at each step. And so that's why you have to take new action. What you've been doing in the past obviously isn't working, so you change your approach and go in a different direction. Does that make sense? So you move in one direction, and if that doesn't work, then choose a new one. Don't ever look at anything as a failure. There's no such thing as failure. There's only doing and not doing. Right? And learning and not learning. So, get out there. Do. Be. Do. Be. Do. Be. Do. Chinese proverb. Man who waits for roast duck to fly into mouth must wait very, very long time. Stay motivated. If a plan A does not work, know your plan B and plan C. Right? It's not enough to stare up the steps. We must step up the stairs. Ooh. Look at the bright spots and focus on your wins. Focus on what you're doing right. That's what we do in this church. We focus on what we do well. And every once in a while somebody will say, well, how come we're not doing that? Well, because we can't do that yet. Right? At some point, we will. When we have the person that shows up that's supposed to do that. There was a gentleman that came to Charles Fillmore. His name was Frank. And Frank said, Charles, Myrtle, you need to take these wonderful prayers and affirmations and put them in a book and make it available to people. And then he started to walk off. And Charles looks at him and says, you do it. You've got the idea. You do it. And I've been doing that ever since. I heard that Charles did that. Somebody comes to me with an idea, say, oh, God gave you the idea, right? Guess what? Stand up. Do it. When we had 12 people, people would come to me and say, James, there's no toilet paper in the bathroom. And I thought in my mind, is your arm broke? But I didn't say that. Right? I know you can't always say what you think. Please. Stop it. I explained to this person where the closet was, where all of the supplies were held. And you know what? This person took it upon themselves to make sure that there was toilet tissue and in the bathroom. Right? Wasn't that wonderful? And a little bit at a time, Somebody started, was sweeping the floors and answering the phone. Somebody started to do that. Somebody started to answer the phone. And I was showing the movies, And somebody said, hey, well, I can do that. I said, okay, great. People just started stepping up and stepping in and doing things. And one thing leads to another. Before you know it, we have a community going here. We have people that are working together and moving forward. That's how it works. It's not complicated. Well, let me go to a seminar and find out how all this works. You already know. All you have to do is do what you see needs to be done, and then you do it. Or work to make it happen. Does that make sense? Yeah. Commit to your success. See, the servant is the greatest among us. That's what Jesus said. Servant is the greatest. The people that bring you your food and fix your food, they deserve the highest respect. Right? The people that take care of you, people that reach out to you, they deserve the greatest thanks. And they deserve a good salary. Say amen, somebody. Amen. Right? Because they are the most important people in our society. Are the ones who serve and the ones who give. You know what? God is the greatest servant of all. God asks for very little from us. You know what God asks for? Is your heart, your soul, your life. Say, that's a lot, James. Yeah, but it's so much fun. That's when life kicks in. Eric Butterworth says, God can only do for you what she can do through you. Myrtle Fillmore said, there are no discords in my being. Being is peace. And out of a peaceful state of being, I live in peace and walk in peace. What I do is out of a peaceful, generous heart. And it brings me to the final conclusion this morning. Guess what I'm going to ask? Are you ready? What would you like to do in this community? What would you? I would love to see. We've got some clipboards out in the lobby. If you'd like to put your love into action. You know what? We need help in the children's program. We had lots of children last week and the week before and the week before, and more coming all the time. And so if you would like to volunteer once a quarter to be with the kids, you know what you can do? You can just tell them what you do for a living. Share with them. Inspire them. And the lesson plans are already put together. It's wonderful. How many have ever worked with kids and you discovered, wow, they are our teachers. They are our gurus. My guru is 3, 4, and 5 years old. Because they know how to live life, right? If you want to be an usher, want to work on the landscaping team, if you want to be a board member, we're going to be voting on board members here pretty soon, on the 19th. If you want to work with the media team back there, we need more help. We need help in all areas. We need you. I'm just asking if everybody would do something. Everyone would do something. We would have every need met. Does that sound good? Let's take a breath together. And so this morning, my prayer for you is that you would feel empowered to act upon that love that you feel, that generosity that's in your heart, that spirit of giving, that spirit of joy. And yes, you might have to come out of your comfort zone just a little bit, but it'll be good for you. It'll change your life in a good way. You'll learn something that you didn't know about yourself and about someone else. And at the same time, you'll be sharing your gifts. You'll be doing what you're supposed to do while you're here. And that's just being the you, the beautiful you that you are. So we give thanks today for this great empowerment, the beautiful name and nature of the Christ, and all that is sacred and all that is holy. Amen. And so be it.